And you keep talking about these wrong people, but who chose those people?
Me.
Okay. And wouldn't you think that you're probably one of those wrong people yourself?
That's what I do.
So you can't blame other people for your choices. You understand that?
That's ma'am. I blame myself for it. I did what I did.
Yeah, but except you say I was with wrong people. You chose those people.
Yes, ma'am. I chose my own one.
Well, I know why you want to get out because everybody wants to get out. That's a no-brainer. But do you really think you should get out now?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
And nothing like a classic Miss Bonnie, the Honorable Judge Jackson. I love her, and I know many of you do as well. So we are going to take a blast to the past of this 2021 Louisiana parole hearing of a man who's not a chomo, who hasn't killed anyone, but still as a fourth felony offender, really because of his narcotic substance abuse problem, was given a 15-year sentence. Now, about 5 years into that sentence, he has a chance at parole. His family, his wife, his daughters, his grandchildren are there watching to see if he'll be able to come back home for Christmas. Now, let's jump in and I'll unpack it with something interesting at the end.
74, classified as a fourth felony offender. Offense: bank fraud, illegal possession of stolen things, simple burglary of an inhabited dwelling, 2 counts, simple burglary of an inhabited dwelling, 6 counts, theft, $1,000 to $5,000. Sentencing date, September 9th, 2019. Sentenced to a total of 15 years DOC. Parole date is June 1st, 2022. Good time, October 6th, 2032. Full term, September 1st, 2033. Is this information correct?
Yes. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Mr. Marabello.
Thank you very much. Mr. Incarnez, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, sir.
Sir, my name is Tony Marabella. I was assigned to your case, so I'm going to be asking you a few questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
36. 46.
You're 46 years old. How long have you been in prison?
I've been here for 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, sir.
And why are you in prison right now?
Because I committed crimes.
Well, what crimes? Tell me about them.
Committed burglaries, bank fraud, and bank fraud and possession of stolen things.
And you've got a 15-year sentence, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm looking at your record. I mean, you've got a horrible juvenile record. You've got a horrible adult record. Tell me why all of the thefts and burglaries and crimes that you've committed.
Well, I guess doing drugs and hanging with the wrong people.
Doing drugs, did you say?
Yes, sir.
And tell me, what kind of drugs were you doing?
Pills, whatever I can do. Marijuana, alcohol.
Now how long were you in LTI?
It's a long time. I think 5 years. 5 years.
And how long since you got out of LTI? How many times have you been in prison?
Once. I've been in prison once since I've been out of LTI.
And did you ever have a job on the outside?
Yes, sir.
What kind of work did you do?
I did roofing and I did asphalt before I come in here. Asphalt.
You did what?
Asphalt and construction.
Okay. Tell me about your drug use. When did you start using drugs?
When I had my accident,
What kind of accident did you have?
I got crushed by a 90-ton forklift. I had 12 surgeries on my foot.
When was that?
That was in 2000, 2000, I think 2000, 2001.
And you had how many surgeries, you said?
12 surgeries on my foot. I had a reconstruction.
Now, you had a lot of crimes before that. So, I mean, you weren't using drugs when you were committing your crimes early on, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had no, I didn't have no excuse for it before.
Tell me what kind of programs you've taken while you've been in prison. You say you've been in there 2 years now. When did you come to prison?
18.
Have you taken any programs while you've been there?
Yes, sir. I took Living in Balance, Cajun Rage, and reentry. I'm still in reentry.
When are you going to finish reentry?
I think I have 2.5 more weeks.
Tell me a little bit about your education.
Education. I really didn't get much education.
Did
I
you
was a
get your
special ed
GED?
since No, sir.
Are you working on your GED?
No, sir. I had just got here through. I mean, I work in maintenance. I had just got here through right when the pandemic started. And I mean, I've been taking classes, working, doing everything I can to better myself.
Did you ever work on your GED while you were out?
No, sir. No, sir.
So when you got released from LTI at 19, you had a felony arrest then. Did you go to prison then?
No, sir.
Okay. So how long did you stay in prison between now and, is this the first time you've been to prison?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, well, tell me about how many times you've been to prison since you were 19.
I only been to prison twice since I was 19, but I have 3 convictions. I had
Okay. How much time have you spent in prison?
how much time? 10 years.
Okay, so you've been in prison
All
from
of
the
it.
time you got out in 19 and now 46 years old, you've been to prison 10 years of that time.
Yes, sir.
What programs have you taken even before you came back this last time that might help you?
I had, before I came back, last time I was in prison, I was in the AA. I was living in balance. I was in.
Were you doing
That's about
drugs when
it.
you committed the crimes that you're in jail for now?
Yes, sir.
Well, how did you go back after you took all those courses?
I had to go back. I don't know. I went around back to hanging with the wrong people, and it led me to the wrong way. I didn't realize I was doing so good. I mean,
Well, you said you were going to AA meetings, or you learned AA, you took AA. Did you go to any kind of meetings between the time you got out last time and the time you came in?
no, sir, I didn't go to no AA meetings from the last time I was in prison, I was in AA. I didn't
I understand that. But when you got out, why didn't you continue to go to AA meetings?
I was too busy about worrying about supporting my family and trying to do the right thing. You know,
Well, you didn't do the right thing. You got back in prison.
Yes, sir.
The right thing isn't going back to drugs.
Yes, sir, you're right.
So what's changed now?
What's changed now? I mean, I kind of, with the classes that I took, and mainly the living in balance.
Well, didn't you take that before?
Yes, sir, but it wasn't like it is now. I mean, I kind of learned that, you know, it's like a ripple effect. You know, I didn't only hurt myself, and I never realized all the people that I hurt when I was committing the crimes I was committing. I never saw, you know, what I was actually doing or realized who I was hurting and the people I was hurting. I never thought about it. Well, I really think about it now.
Okay. Now, your write-up record looks pretty good, but you got kicked out of the Strive program. Why was that?
Because it was during the pandemic. I mean, we couldn't get in no courses or classes or school or nothing like that. I couldn't. You can't get in none of it. I mean, the pandemic was here. And
Well, I understand
told
you
me-
were in it and you got terminated from there. Why is that?
because I wasn't in school. I mean, but I couldn't be in school in the pandemic. They didn't even have school.
Now, I note on your record that you were at least in the Blue Walters program. Did you complete that program?
I was never in the Blue Walters program, no sir.
You weren't there? I don't know why I have on my notes that on September the 3rd of 2021, you were at Blue Walters. That's not accurate?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. I was not in Blue Walters.
Okay. What is your transition plan? Where you intend to live?
My transition, I plan to live in my house in the Beaver Springs, Louisiana.
With your wife?
My wife, yes, sir, my daughter, and work back and go to work, try to give back to society, you know, and do the right thing out of life. I mean, I didn't realize I had so many people that cared for me out there. You know, when I committed the crimes I committed, I'm sorry for what I did.
My notes reflect that you owe over $20,000 in restitution. Are you going to ever be able to pay those victims off that money that you stole?
Yes, sir. If I have to, yes, sir, I will pay. I never knew I had restitution, but I mean, if I do, I will pay it.
Do you have any records there about why he got kicked out, why he was no longer in the Strive program?
I think it's for, you have to at least be backlog or GED or education programs. And I don't think he was when they reevaluated.
Okay, all right. I don't know where I had. Now you've got a lot of opposition. What other programs have you taken? Any long-term substance abuse programs?
No, sir. No, sir.
Now you have a diagnosis of opioid disorder. Did you know that? Do you take opiates, pills?
Yes, sir.
I'm
did.
sorry?
I don't know more. I did.
You
I
did.
don't know more.
What did you take?
I was on Lord Setchins, Somas, and methadone, Fortis. I had quit all of that before I had got arrested. I was helping myself. I had got on Suboxone. I was off of all the pills and the drugs I was on. I had already got off of them.
But you were on Suboxone. You went to a Suboxone clinic?
Yes, sir. And it got me off of
Well,
everything.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a big fan of Suboxone clinics, so
Well, I used it to get off the drugs
I
out.
understand.
Back at work, I was doing good.
All right.
I was already changed.
I'm looking for why I saw something about that. Why are you different today than you were when you first came to prison 2 years ago?
Well, I have a better look on life. I have a family. You know that.
You had a family then, didn't you?
Yes, sir. And I realized what I lost, the people I hurt. You know, I just want to get out and do the right thing, and be with my family, be with my grandson.
And what is your plan to stay off drugs?
I want to try to go to AA meetings and stuff when I get out to help me stay away and have a sponsor that can help me in case I ever think about it, something like that, you know, to help me talk about it, have somebody to talk to, and try. And I don't want to do no more drugs in my life.
Are you
I
are
had
you a
no-
drug are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna say I ain't. I mean, I am.
All right. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
You know.
Miss Bonnie,
Thank you. Mr. Curtis, how are you?
How you doing?
I see a picture on the screen with Misty, Kara, and Sierra. That's your family?
That's my.
How many times have you disappointed them and let them down, promised them that you were going to stop using drugs, but went right back to it?
A few times. Yes, ma'am.
And you keep talking about these wrong people, but who chose those people?
Me.
Okay. And wouldn't you think that you're probably one of those wrong people yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So you can't blame other people for your choices. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I blame myself for it. I did what I did.
Yeah, but except you say I was with wrong people. You chose those people.
Yes, ma'am. I chose my own one.
Well, I know why you want to get out, because everybody wants to get out. That's a no-brainer. But do you really think you should get out now?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I have a better look on life. I realize, yes, I did hurt people. I hurt my family. I just want to get out there and live life, do right, get back to.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that. Everybody wants to get out and everybody wants to do right, but you've not been very successful in doing that. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You've never gone through or completed any kind of long-term substance abuse treatment.
No, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So why do you, I mean, from my perspective, looking at how many times you failed, I'm not optimistic about your chances because I'm not hearing that you understand how serious your addiction is and just wanting to stop using drugs, wanting to get out there and do right is absolutely no help.
I want to get help. I mean, I want to go out there, do AA, maybe.
Well, how about help
you know,
inside? How about help inside?
Well, I mean, there's been a pandemic. I haven't had a.
There are people in programs right now. What about help inside?
I work. I took the living in balance, cage and rage. I work all day. I've been just doing everything I can.
Excuses. And those same excuses are going to be there when you get out. There's always going to be an excuse. And to me, if I were in your shoes and I have this history of addiction and criminal behavior, I would want whatever help I could get. I wouldn't be trying to get out and get right back out there and fall back into the same old routine. And I'm not hearing that you're committed to doing that. You just want out. You don't want to do the hard work of recovery. You just want to get out. And that's a sure sign that you're going to fail. And our job here today is not to let you out so you can fail. It's to equip you so that when you do get out, you have what you need to be able to succeed. For Misty, Carrie, Sierra,
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just not saying that right now. I'm just saying somebody who doesn't want to get, doesn't want to be in jail. You want to get out, and you think in your mind, oh yeah, I got it this time, when it's obvious that you don't. And I hope you'll take what I'm saying to heart. It's not to discourage you, but it's to give you a reality check. You need a reality check. Opioid addiction is one of the most, devastating and difficult one to overcome. And all your good intentions won't change that. Okay? Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We have some speakers here today. Misty and Kara, if you would unmute your mic and give your statement.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Miss Dean Cordes. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I don't know really what to say too much. I love James, my husband. We all do. He has a grandbaby. He works. He makes money. He just made bad decisions.
He does love this.
Yes. He just made bad decisions out of life. I think he'll be good now. I know he would. He's got a grandbaby. He's only getting older. He's got a job when he comes home lined up too. Mr. Larkins owns the company and he worked for him before. I just want to get him home back to our family. And that's all that I could say.
We miss him.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
At this time, if you would mute your mic, Mr. Marabella will be voting at this time.
Okay.
No, at
Mr.
this time.
Mr. Does he want to say something before we vote?
Okay, James, anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry for what I did. I just want to get out, give back, build my family, and if there's anything that I need to do, I will do to better myself with me and my sobriety. I'm willing to do it. I want to. I'm sorry for what I did and the people I hurt.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Marabella will be voting at this time. This case was assigned to him.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Mr. Cordes, looks like you've got a wonderful family. I can understand why you want to go back home to them. And I don't think there's anybody on this board that doesn't want to see you go back to them and succeed. I think the problem is right now, I don't think you're ready. You've been in prison for 2 years on a 15-year sentence. That's a very short period of time. It may very well be that you haven't been able to take a lot of programs because of COVID and all of those things. But for me to vote to let you out, you're going to turn around and come right back. You had all of the classes that you've taken now before. You didn't go to your AA meetings. I've heard drug addicts time and time and time again say the very same things you're saying. You're sober, you're in jail, you don't like to be in jail, you want to be home, but your family, your grandchild, no one is going to be able to keep you off drugs except you. And you need to learn the tools to be able to do that. I had asked you about Blue Walters, said you never went to Blue Walters. I've looked in the file. There is a request for a voluntary agreement for participation in Blue Walters that you signed. And
Yes,
that
sir.
was in September. So hopefully you will be able to get into that program or some other long-term program that we have there. But until you do that, I'm not prepared to vote to parole you. So my vote today is to deny you, but I would encourage you to try to get into every program, especially a long-term substance abuse program that the department has to offer. There are plenty of good programs there, so good luck to you.
Can I have a request from me?
At this time, we're voting, Mr. Jackson.
Ms. Incarnez, like Judge Marabella, I've seen a lot of drug addicts. I've heard a lot of people talk, and you just know when somebody's ready and somebody's not. And you're not. You're just saying the words that you need to say. Look at your family. They're all falling apart, breaking down. What they need to be doing is encouraging you to get some real treatment instead of trying to get you to come home, because you're going to let them down again. You are, unless you get treatment.
Can I get can you request for me to get treatment, to go to Blue Waters? You know, I mean, we can't just go to Blue Waters. I mean, if I had a request or something for me to go there to get help, I'm willing to take it. I want help.
Okay, well, I'm willing to put in a request that you be placed in a long-term substance abuse treatment program, whether it's Blue Waters, Walters, or Stephen Hoyle, that you be placed in a long-term substance abuse treatment program. So today I'm going to deny, but ask that you be placed in a long-term substance abuse treatment program. And once you've completed that program and you've not gotten any other write-ups, then you can reapply. And you might get a different outcome, but you need help. You need real help, and you haven't gotten it yet. So good luck to you, but today we're going to deny you.
At this time, I'm going to be voting to deny. You have very, very strong law enforcement victims opposition. Also, you need programming. The vote today was to deny. Thank you very much.
And they denied, and we're going to fast forward to the present day, 2025. So it's about what, like 4 years later, he's having a parole hearing. Will he have done what they asked him to do? Will he have new write-ups? And will the parole board grant him this time? Now, what do you think about this hearing? I for one, I just love how classic, you have, for those of you who aren't familiar, Judge Marabella and Judge Jackson, those are the only two that have been on the board for all the years that we've been covering it that were judges. That's why we call them a judge. They maintain that title, right? Parole board members are not judges, but they were, as we know, Drugabella, as some nickname him, was a drug court judge for like 800 or so years. And Miss Bonnie Jackson, well, she went through as a public defender and then as a judge, and she could have gotten a job on the board at any number of Louisiana prestigious firms, but she turned it down to be a parole board member, and I have a lot of respect for that. So did Judge Marabella. And by the way, I've looked it up. They only earn about $30,000 a year being a parole board member. No one's doing the job for the money, and they have a different type of insight. They have the experience, and they're certainly not going to be swayed by a family looking on in desperation for their loved one to get released. But let's jump into this now 2025 hearing and see if they grant. Do you think that he should, if he's done what he needed to do? Well, let's find out.
Okay, so let's get started. So first off, tell me what got you into prison, what you were doing to get into prison, what crimes you committed, and then tell me why you think you're ready to get out today.
Well, I take full responsibility for what I did. I was using drugs, bad, led myself to something that I should have never did. And since I come to prison, all I have done was rehabilitate myself and I was trustee, worked in a plumber shop. I helped build a building for LDC. I was Class A trustee. When I come here, I took all the classes that RLCC had to offer. And, you know, I appreciate y'all sending me here to even better my rehabilitation. And I feel I am rehabilitated. I mean, I have tried to just keep my head up and I had to start somewhere. And this is where I started. And I've just been doing everything I can to have the change of thought that I have today. You know, I just want to be with my family. I was never a real bad person. I just had wrong decisions, wrong choices. And I accept full responsibility for the choices I made. I'm just asking, you know, for the forgiveness.
What were the, and what did you do to get there? What were your charges?
Burglary, bank fraud, possession of stolen properties.
Okay. Let's get to the people that want to. Well, first off, let me say the warden. Do you have anything to add, or the lady from shop have anything to add?
He's been here for 5 months, I believe, in the program. Not had any write-ups. Haven't had anything. Haven't had to deal with him as far as disciplinaries or anything like that. He's been going to the program here with Miss Frizzell, and she'll add what she's got for him.
Okay, Ms. Brazil, can you tell us when he'll be complete and how he's doing in the program?
Good morning. He is expected to complete the program on June the 27th. He's in a 6-month program. The counselors say that he's insightful in class. He seems to have a good idea of recovery, the recovery process, what he needs to do to remain sober. So he's got 2 positive behavior reports and no minor rule violations for us either.
Okay. And y'all will have a follow-up plan for him when he relieves?
We will start planning if once he releases about a month before, we'll start planning for that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. Okay, today on your behalf, Mr. Cordez, you have Misty, your wife. Miss Misty, tell us what you want to tell us about your husband.
Hello.
Okay, good. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, how are you doing today? My husband is a good person. He's got a good heart. Like he said, he did make bad decisions because of drugs. He seems to be doing good and rehabilitated, which I'm very proud of, the person that he's starting to become now. We also have children together, and now he has 3 grandbabies as well to look forward to. And we also have a job lined up for him for when he comes home, he'll be working. And that's about it.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am.
hoping that he can get home. You're welcome.
Okay. And we also have Miss Carrie, your daughter.
Yes.
Tell us, ma'am, what you want to tell us about your dad.
Well, it seems like he's doing really good, and I think he'll do like really good on the outside too. And he does have, grandbabies to look forward to and a job, and he seems like he's doing so much better than he was before. So I think he'll do good.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Cordez, your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis. He'll lead us in questioning.
Good morning, Mr. Cordez. How are you? Cordez.
All right, that's up.
Good. Look, I guess you were stealing the merchandise for your habit.
Yes, sir.
What have you learned out of the programs that you're taking?
What I learned is first I learned to accept responsibility for what I did. I accept all responsibility. And I learned that, it leads to 2 things. It leads to here that, and I not only hurt myself, my family, but I hurt other people too. That, that life never leads to nothing. I used to keep a lot of things bottled up. That's why I was glad I was sent here. It taught me how to be open, how to talk to somebody. you know, to do what you can to just say no. You know, it has never led to nothing but hurt and in jail for me. So I learned to start somewhere to just say no. You know, I'd rather be with my family than to be in prison.
I see. I saw on the record where you started stealing about 18. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
So, what would happen if you're released? I mean, you think you maybe go back to your old habits or what? Are they frozen? Can you hear me?
The right people's, you know, I just learned to stay away from people that'll lead you down the road that want you to fall like them. I don't want to fall. I want to be with my family, enjoy my grandkids, work an honest living like I always did, you know, and do the right thing and be a man and not a follower, be a leader is what I want to be. I want to be a father, a husband, and a grandfather, and a real man to society.
I see. What kind of work do you have lined up?
I got asphalt. I do asphalt work. That's laying highways and stuff like that. So I said the boss I had when I had started doing my stuff, you know, he's still here for me, you know, and he always told me that, you know, when you get right, you know, I always have a place for you. Because he knows that I work hard, never miss work, and I wanted, you know, always was a good worker. I just needed the opportunity to be the man I know I could be.
How long have you been clean?
I've been clean since 2018, since I got incarcerated. You know, I always figured you got to learn to say no somewhere, and I had to learn how to say no. Once I learned that through the classes and the programs and coming here and stuff, you know, it has bettered me since I started programs in Cottonport and working and all that there. It has taught me to be a man. You don't have to do drugs and all that there because you have stuff bottled up. You need somebody to talk, a support system. You know, and I have built me a good support system.
Hey, how much more time do you have on your classes?
I have to June 27th.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I remember hearing
Yes,
that. Okay, I have no more questions.
All right. I just have one question. What was your DB write-up in 1722? What was that for?
Smoking. That's something I'm really, in a way I hate to say it, I'm glad it did happen because I'm 50 years old, and when I got caught there, there's no more smoking for me ever. I mean, I have bronchitis, and I'm glad, in a way, I'm glad that happened because it helped me for the long run in the future. You know, I mean, I do want to live to see my grandkids, you know, grow up. And smoking, it ain't gonna happen. Like I said, though, you know, you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to state for the record that we have 7 victims that are opposed. We have 1 victim that is unopposed, and we have opposition from the Attorney General, the District Attorney, and the Sheriff. Okay, is the panel ready to vote?
I'd like for an executive session.
A second. Okay. We have a motion and a second for executive session. Please stand by. We're gonna discuss some confidential matters.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Call the vote.
Mr. Tillis,
Yes.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Mr. Gaines.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, can I get a motion and a
I'm
second to
going
go
to
back
move
into
back into regular session. I'm second.
Okay, has the motion and a second. Okay, we are now prepared to vote. Mr. Tillison?
Mr. James, my vote's gonna be today to suggest that you get more classes, finish your programming that you have, and reapply after you've done that. So my vote's gonna be to deny today.
Mr. Byron?
I'm gonna concur with him, reapply in that 1 year. By the time you can have done more classes and be ready, more ready. And I think you've done a good job toward the end of your incarceration. Keep that up and you'll be out.
Okay, my vote is the same, but let me tell you, we had a very positive conversation about you. We just want you to prove to us that after that class, you can make it for a year without having any problems. And then reapply, and I think the vote may be different.
All right, so, and, can I ask one question? When I'm finished here, would I go back to RLCC where I was? I mean, 'cause
I'm not sure. That's up to the different jails. We have no bearing on where you're housed. Okay, so that'll close out our business at Bossier, and thank the staff for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Would I be?
Okay, and they denied, and I'm not for it. I'm actually thinking in this case, just parole the man, right? He hasn't had a write-up. He's done what they've asked him to do. They're basically just saying, finish the program and reapply in a year. Why? Like out of and I know this Louisiana parole board has gotten pretty tough, but this is a case where you make an exception. We've seen them do this before. We saw it. I don't know if you remember that one case of that woman who got something like 25 years for like possession with intent to distribute, and she wasn't a dealer. Like her boyfriend set her up with the police and set her up with the fake like it was the craziest thing. Not even like she legit was not a dealer, and she got the book thrown at her, and they deny her parole. I couldn't believe it. It's if you want to find it, check the female playlist in the you'll see it there. There's not too many. Probably one of the last 10 hearings, but like come on, like why? I guess it's just why. Why would you deny in this case? You know, if it was Connecticut or Iowa or Utah, they would have sent him out a long time ago. I didn't think it was a good idea to send him out before. There was more of a desperation in his voice. And the family was, it was interesting. The family didn't, it's like, it was two different. You saw one where it was like the world's coming to the end, and the other was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I can't let him out. And I mean, it's not fair to judge someone on based on like a parole. Maybe they had something going on. Who knows what it is? But it was different. It was a very different experience. One you almost felt like crying. The other was like, okay. And I mean, he must got to be like imagine being locked away in a prison and still having your wife show up for you. I mean, that's just something else, isn't it? But when all you've been doing your whole life was just stealing and robbing and drugging and yeah, something, you know. But they should have granted. They should have granted. You know, I cut through the executive session. It was like 4 or 5 minutes long, not too long, not too short. Just let him out. Because a year is not going to make a difference. It's like you can only be proven wrong. What else is he going to learn sitting away in jail for a year? It's not like he's at work release, right? Where he's making some money or something. I mean, they could have at least sentenced to work release, unless I missed it. He was sentenced in 2019, so he was locked up in 2019 to 15 years. His full term date is 2032. I think it was 2033, but he had a year good time, I guess. Fourth felony offender. Now, also what was interesting is that he had a 7 victims opposed. 7 victims. I get, you know, you they call up the victims and they say, hey, blah, blah, blah is up for parole. You got to figure that he's done something pretty bad if you're still going to be opposed. Like, you know, it's interesting. You hear about theft cases and you think, you know, you'll get over it. You forgive it. Yeah. It's not just about the stuff that was stolen. It's about feeling violated. But some theft cases you hear, we've heard victims come up and say, this person didn't just steal my stuff, but they took, my great grandmother's diary. Tell me, where is my great grandmother's diary? Give me my great grandmother's diary back. I've seen things like that, or someone would say, he stole our certifications that I have a degree from this school. I'm an immigrant and I have a degree, and I can't prove it now. Or my birth certificates are gone, or something like it could seem like a small detail. But it's like, why did he steal it first? Or why did he steal the documents? Like, just give me the documents. So it can shake someone else's life up so much that they could do something to alter their life so much where people aren't forgiven because it's not just cash. Sometimes it could be a heirloom. I know my 95 young grandfather, someone came into his home. My grandmother's still alive, but they stole all the jewelry. All our heirlooms are gone. And my grandfather and grandmother, they gave me a gift of, they were never bitter about it, never heard them complain about it. All I know is that the robbery happened, and they just said it's not something. Do not let it eat away at the quality of life. But um, but I wouldn't be forgiving to a criminal that did that. No, I couldn't. I would say if I was at the parole hearing, where is it? Where did you pawn it? Just tell me that so I can start doing some detective work. And I get it, it's probably melted in some whatever crap, but maybe it's not. Maybe I can go and find the heirloom somewhere. But often these people, they're so messed up, and they won't even tell you where they sold it. They still won't, maybe they don't remember. I don't know. But you never see that conversation happen. Anyways, I feel like I digress. He's still locked up. Of course, this hearing just happened. He's 50 years old. Let's see what Lady Holly's fact of the day is on this case. There was some appeals and things on the habitual offender, but because they got it with the habitual offender, that's why. But there's, as you can see, unfortunately, can't live the links that blocking the court records. An AI company bought one of those big court record companies and basically blocked it, so we don't have access to a lot of stuff now. Yay, AI. Okay. Illinois, in Vandalia, Illinois, there's a fire-breathing dragon. Yep, you read that right. The metal Kaskaskia, I feel like that's almost like Kawasaki, right? Because dragon was built in 1995 and is 35 feet long. If you drop a dragon coin into a slot, it'll torch out some wicked propane-fueled fire. In Illinois, huh? Hey, Griggs, you watching this? Do you know about this dragon? Who else subbed here is from Illinois? It's funny, I only think of Griggs, but I'm sure we have one. That's cool. I want a fire-breathing dragon coin thing. I wonder how much that coin cost. I don't know, man. Chomos get such short sentences, and I get that this guy needs to be locked up as an habitual offender and with the parole and all that stuff, but it just still seems wrong. And with that, I'll let you go.
And you keep talking about these wrong people, but who chose those people?
Me.
Okay. And wouldn't you think that you're probably one of those wrong people yourself?
That's what I do.
So you can't blame other people for your choices. You understand that?
That's right. I blame myself for it. I did what I did.
Yeah, except you say I was with wrong people. You chose those people.
Yes, ma'am. I chose my own one.
Well, I know why you want to get out, because everybody wants to get out. That's a no-brainer. But do you really think you should get out now?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?